everyone, and welcome back to the last in the series. So what I've been doing through this time of shutdown is cleaning my house and reporting back on all the things I found that totally gobsmacked me and all the things I kept just in case. So this particular video has an additional theme to it. So it's all the things I found that gobsmacked me, all the things I've kept just in case, and all the things I've kept because I don't know what to do with them. So I really welcome your comments because I'm going to ask you to help me out here. So I cleaned this part of my house, which is like the living area. And the thing that I found, it's rather amusing because I think I should have been born into a family that owned a paper mill, or maybe in a past life, that's what it is, in a past life, I must have been the owner of a paper mill because I have so much paper. Now we all have paper, don't we? You know, and we like to recycle and upcycle paper, but clearly I have got a bit of a fixation with it. I have so much paper in this house. I don't even begin to know where to start with this video. It's mostly about the things that I found that are made of paper. So we've talked a lot previously, haven't we, about empty boxes. So clearly they're originally from paper. And as we know, all paper originates from our trees. So I think I might have a small forest in my house, or what was once a small forest. So a deep apologies to all the trees out there that I have reduced down into paper and I'm keeping in my home. So when I say paper, I mean, I find loads of paper like this, loose leaf paper, but it comes in all shapes and forms. There's lined paper, there's square paper, there's plain paper, there's cream paper, there's faded paper, it's been with me so long, and on it goes. But it does get used, but clearly not at the rate at which I gather it. So, paper. Journals. I found a huge number of journals. Now back in the day we called them jotters, didn't we? I love that word. It's like snotters. Jotters and snotters. Such a great feel to it. But back in the day, when I was at school, the school supplied your jotter and you were not allowed a new one till you filled up every tiny morsel of that jotter. And some of that must have lingered on with me, that sort of holding on to paper. It has to be used, you know. But what I realised with these jotters is that I seem to have a lot of them. But before I go on to the jotters, I just want to mention plastic bags. Plastic bags. Now, I am a huge believer in cutting down on the use of plastic. And indeed, if we could get rid of it altogether, the planet would be a better place and happier for it, as would our seas and all the animals that live in the sea. So I would not normally say there's a point to plastic, but when it comes to a plastic bag, you know what to do with it, don't you? A plastic bag, you either use it in your bin to put your rubbish in and recycle, or if you've got a dog, you pick up your poo with it, or you just put it with the other plastic bags in a big plastic bag and take them out now and again when you go shopping. But you know what to do with the plastic bag. You see, people then moved away from plastic, and rightly so, but then shops started introducing these elaborate paper bags like this. You know, smart, pretty, shiny, ribbons for handles. You know, when you walk, well, here's another one. This is like black and gold with beautifully plaited handles. So when you walk out of a shop with these, you feel grand, don't you? You feel like you've really purchased something. They give you an air of sophistication. You know, you feel full of yourself. Full of yourself. Where under goodness did that expression come from? Oh, she's looking awful full of herself. Well, who wouldn't she be full of? You know, we hardly get up in the morning and go, oh, I think I'll be a wee bit full of my deceased mother, the local shopkeeper and the milkman. Full of yourself. But they do give you that sense of, you know, having purchased something, of a sense of luxury, let's say that. And usually there's a little bit of tissue paper in. So when you come home, you take your bag, you take out your garment. It may have only come from Matalan, but hey, you know, it's been in a paper bag with ribbons for handles and a bit of tissue paper. And then you put it away and you come down and you look at the bag and you think, so what am I going to do with this? You can't throw that in the bin. You see the plastic bag, you know exactly what to do with the plastic bag, don't you? This has probably been rolled off and shoved behind the drawers for the past 2 years. This I can't bear to throw out, so I put all my seedling, my peas and, what do you call them? Seeds for planting, vegetables. So I keep it. So I'm keeping bags. Anyway, to go back to the jotters. So we're moving on for paper. What do you do with all that paper when you don't use it? Yes, you use it for printing, blah, blah, blah. Paper bags, what do you do with those? And jotters. Well, you see, it would be fine because I would use the jotter. I do use them. But in my kitchen alone, God, I can hardly even lift them. There were all these. So that was just in my kitchen alone. And you see, you have a jotter, a journal. Once you get to a certain age, you don't call them jotters anymore, do you? They're journals. So you get a journal like this. Now, there was a time when I thought I'd be a wedding planner. Very excited about the possibility. So I got myself a lovely, colourful, oh, it says notes, notebook. Oh, that doesn't really sound good, does it? It's a bit demeaning, really. But so this notebook had a status because it was going to hold the creative juices of helping two people make that day so special. And I was going to be involved in helping them create it. In fact, I did interview a young couple who were getting married. So, you know, it started out being respectful, elegant, elevated. But as it turned out, divorce put me off becoming a wedding planner. It sort of disillusioned me a wee bit. So I gave up on the wedding planning. So what do I do now? You know, because I still have a lot of empty pages. You see, you can't really demote that kind of a journal into one where you write your shopping list, and you cannot rip the front pages out either. There's something sacrilegious about that anyhow, but rip the front pages out and all the back pages fall out. So what do you do? And then this one, good old pucker, this was in the day when I started my hobby in foraging. Well, actually it was going to be a career, but it really transpired to be neither, but it got a journal. And I thought to myself, what do I do with that? You know, I read all my notes about all the plants, the greens that we can eat. But it did come to me just before I start doing this video, I think I might dedicate this one to my research and discoveries of wildlife in the home. I went into my living room the other day, looked behind the sofa. I don't really have cause to look behind the sofa too often. And when I looked down, it was like a blue bottle graveyard. They just come into the house and go die on your floor. Now this brings me back to a question. I like to pose the questions on these videos. Spiders, are they like mice? You know, if you have a mouse in your home and you want to humanely dispose of it, you are advised to take it many miles away, because mice actually seem to have some kind of homing device whereby they know how to. So you don't put them in the garden because they know how to come in the back door again. Now, is it the same with spiders? Because I'll tell you now, for all those cobwebs I took down, they have come in and put them back up again. They must have gone out into the garden and gone, come on boys, come on girls, she's cleaned spaces for us. We can start all over again. And of course they go right up into the corners because they know rightly that I have no desire to get up those step ladders again. And I can't kill them. You know, most of them are the same, and they're called cellar spiders. Why they are called cellar spiders is beyond me, because they go nowhere near the cellar. Every other room in the house? No, not the cellar. No. So I don't know what idiot gave them that name. So let's continue. So we got through the jotters. I also found in the paper, dated January 1995, a photocopy of a milk tokens that I must have had for Reuben. I'm not sure why I'm holding on to that, but there you go. So then, when I was looking at these jotters, I came across box files. Now, box files, what's the difference between empty boxes and box files? Box files, made of paper. Well, this one, good old tartan box file, I probably have 30 years. I think I stole it from the probation service, to be honest. But see, they last, don't they? They last. But what do you do with them? I do not want to put things back in them. So, and then this one, of course, this was the wedding planner box. You know, pink, of course it'll be pink. And it's got a lovely wee clip on it that if you could press it, you'd be able to open it. And look how white it is, and it's got this. If anybody would like it, please get in touch. It's for free. But what can you do with it? You know, how can I throw that out? I would happily give it away, but I would take it to the charity shop. You can't even get anything to the charity shop at the minute. However, so another question. Where does dust come from? And how does it come so quickly? How is it? This is another thing about cleaning, and I warn you, ladies and gentlemen who do not normally clean, be very cautious about starting, because once you start, you no longer can ignore the dust. It shows up everywhere. It's like you have antennae, dust antennae, and you see it. You go into peripheral vision, and it's everywhere. But how does it appear so quickly? And here is the big question. I can understand dust falling due to gravity, lying on flat surfaces, but how on earth does dust lie horizontally, or is it vertically? I never know which, but horizontally, vertically. Anyway, down the side of something. Down the side of your wardrobes, down the sides of your chest of drawers. How does it do that? So, comments please. Please post them below. So then we move on. So we've got the box files. We've got the empty boxes. But you see, I have a box here. Probably the most expensive item in my house came in. And this is no ordinary box. This is an apple box. This is sleek. This is white. This has got straight lines. This is strong, forceful. This is a box that stays and lasts. This is not a box that goes in the bin. This is absolutely not a box that goes in the tip or the bin. I have no idea where it does go. It's been sitting in a drawer for 2 years. I keep saying 2 because I've been here about 2 years. And I can assure you now that that's another thing I'd love to say thank you to. Thank you to the individual that created drawers. Drawers, what an invention. You clean them out, you have them empty, and then you can put your beautiful, sexy box back in there. So, paper. This is the last in the paper line, okay? Quick move over here. These are a sad invention because these are a combination of paper and plastic. But you can reuse them. And sometimes, maybe the other question I need to ask is, how much can I realistically reuse? Because here we go, these padded envelopes. We've got 1, we've got 2, we've got 3, we've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then in addition to that, and this is where I won't name the company, but you will see the one I'm referring to on the bag probably, send out these. So I've got 1, 2, oh, and there's another paper one, 3, and there's another paper one, 4, 5. It just goes on, it's breathtaking. I'm breathless counting them. Anyway, what can you do? They'll go behind the chest of drawers as well. So what else? Let's move away from the paper. I think that's enough on the paper. I did find in one of the box files, I think the old one that I pinched from the Parisian service, 10 chopsticks. Of course, where else would you find them? I can't remember the last time I had a Chinese. And then I found these. Now there may be some of you out there that don't know what these are. They're called knitting needles. People actually use them with wool and knit jumpers. Yeah? People actually do sit at home and do this. I have got a friend who loves to knit things. So, and that's not the ancient ones that did it, you know. There are still people doing it nowadays. And again, if you want a few knitting needles, I have a few spare. 4.5, 5, oh, there's a pair, 5, 5. Obviously, I like to knit with 5. Oh, 6. And and a wooden one. I don't know. I think I'm going to use that to prop my tomato plants up. Knitting, I think the last time I knit anything was in 1985. So clearly I thought I might take that up again, but I think it's highly doubtful. So there we have it just about. I mean, it's been great crack sharing things with you. And some of you are far worse hoarders than I am. And I'll tell you now, you know the way I keep saying, keep things just in case? Well, I am so glad I did, because I discovered that I threw a remote control out that I actually needed, and I had thankfully put it in the shed. So do be careful, think twice, just in case. It can happen. But no, it's been great fun, and you have shared so much stuff with me. Some of you are worse holders than I am, and I'm really grateful to have motivated you. Now, I know a couple of you have said, will you carry on, Gwen? And these are friends and family. Would you carry on? Who do you think I am, Hattie Jakes or something? Would you carry on cleaning? I think not. This girl was not born to clean. But I know some of you out there are, and I'm absolutely delighted. And I'm absolutely delighted that I've motivated people. And I'm absolutely delighted that I've cleaned this house from top to bottom, although you would not think it because it just looks as bad, what with the dust and the cobwebs and everything else. But as we move forward, who knows what's going to happen after the 4th of July? As we move forward, I honestly wish you great happiness, great haircuts, and I hope you all find a way to move forward. And I have loved your comments. I've had great crack, and I've gone on for quite a long time this time. But I hope to see you all bright and shiny, glistening, dust-free in the future.